配信がスタートしました。皆さん、こんばんは。見ていますか？音も大丈夫でしょうか？ぜひチャットで教えてください。それでは、第32回英語シンポジウム有名なランドマークを、開催したいと思います。本日は、担当者になります、カフェトークスタッフのアイファと申します。よろしくお願いいたします。本日、参加する3人の講師はマニング先生、エヴァン先生とリーニ先生です。最初はマニング先生は、アレクサンダー・グラハム・ベルと電話を紹介して、その後はエヴァン先生がカホキア古墳群を紹介して、最後にリニー先生は、テーブルマウンテンを紹介したいと思います。皆様、ご質問やコメントがあれば、ぜひチャットボックスで、送りください。Welcome to this 30-second symposium in English. I'm today's host, Cafetalk support, and my name is Haifa. So today's theme is famous landmarks. Today I'm joined with 3 tutors, Manning, Evan, and Linny. So Manning will first introduce Alexander Graham Bell and the invention of telephone, followed up by Evan, who will be presenting the history of Cahokia Mounts. And lastly, Linny will introduce us to the significance of Table Mountains. Don't hesitate to comment and ask questions to the tutors on the chat. And of course, let us know if you can see us and hear us well. So I think we can directly start with Manning's topic. Hello.
Hey, everybody. So first, I'd like to thank for the support, Cafetalk, and all of you for attending this presentation. I'd also like to talk about a little thing that a lot of people don't know, actually. I'll talk about a Boston hidden gem landmark, and I'll share a fascinating story about a not so famous landmark and reveal a discovery by a friend of mine at the end. So let's get right to it. Boston is rich in history with many famous landmarks related to the War of Independence from Britain. And from the Boston Tea Party, where the Patriots dumped tea into the Boston Harbor in protest of a British tea on tax, which is, by the way, why Americans drink more coffee than tea, to the Old North Church and statues of famous patriots like Paul Revere and Samuel Adams. And for you avid baseball fans, there is America's oldest and most beloved ballpark or stadium called Fenway Park, which was built in 1912. If you visit Boston, I highly recommend walking the Freedom Trail to see all of these historical landmarks. But Boston was also the birthplace of a significant technological invention, the telephone. This is the story of that little-known landmark. So our story begins in 1868. It's 3 years after the Civil War. A 21-year-old country boy from Ohio moved to Boston to work as a telegraph operator at the Western Union Company. He rented a room at 109 Court Street, where the attic was rented to young scientists and inventors. Electricity was on everyone's mind, but not yet in everyone's home. He tried to build what's called a multiple telegraph while living there and working at the telegraph office. That young man was Thomas Edison, who later invented the light bulb, the phonograph, which is like a record player. Some of you might know what that is, and the movie camera. his first idea was to have a two-way or multiple telegraph. The telegraph was like sending a text by wire using Morse code to communicate one way. It was like having a mobile phone connected to a wire, sending one text at a time. Improving this to send multiple messages would revolutionize communication. Edison tried and failed to invent the multiple telegraph. He then invented an automatic vote counter, and Congress preferred to the slow voting process, so they didn't adopt it. Next, he invented the stock ticker, which printed letters and numbers on paper. He sold it for $40,000, which is about like $1 million today. And later, he learned the buyers of that invention made millions. So from that experience, he promised himself not to ever sell something that he couldn't have the rights to. So Edison eventually moved to Menlo Park, New Jersey in 1870, where he became a famous inventor, creating the light bulb, the phonograph, and many more inventions. 5 years later, in that exact same attic, Alexander Graham Bell, a professor for the deaf, worked on the same multiple telegraph problem. The telegraph lines were overloaded with wires, which were unsightly. He wanted to send more than one Morse code signal on each wire. So in 1875, on a hot July night, Bell first transmitted his voice through the wire, leading to the invention of the telephone. So if you visit Boston's City Hall and look at the John F. Kennedy Federal Building on New Sudbury Street, there's a plaque, and it's marking the spot where Bell invented the telephone. It does not mention that Edison also worked there. This fact was discovered by my friend and colleague David Crew while researching his book on Scully Square, which is a completely other story. David has published several books, including a novel called Inseparable, which is about an escape from Alcatraz. Now you know a special Boston hidden gem landmark and the discovery that Thomas Edison worked in the same attic as Bell. So I have to mention also that David is kind of a funny guy, and in Inseparable, my name is in the book. He uses his friends' names as characters in his books. So if you buy this Inseparable book, you can see my name in it. So that's the presentation. Thank you very much for your time.
Very much. I was taking also a few notes at the same time, but now I'm really curious about the book because I wonder what type of character my friends would would write with my name on their book. Thank you very much. I'll check at the same time. Oh, we did have few comments. Okay, the sound and everything seems right. Miku says so excited. Thank you very much. Yes, so if you have any comments coming in afterwards, feel free to also ask in between, and we'll get back to those after the next presentation. Manning, do you also write?
A little bit, but not any long books or anything like that. Actually,
Mhm.
I was a business person for 20 years, so I've written literally thousands of ads.
Oh, okay.
So like
Interesting.
when you do a search on Google for something and an advertisement appears, one of them might likely be mine.
Oh, interesting. That's also good to know. Okay. Okay, then without further ado, I think we can move on to our next next presentation. Oh, before also I move on directly, I'll also mention that three students will be selected from the comments during the live stream. So of course, feel free to comment, and the winners will receive a lesson ticket to take with one of the presenting tutors. So don't forget to comment. Oh, we do have one question, sorry, from Kibira. Interesting. What was Bell's first message? Oh, do you happen to know about this one?
Yeah, I think so. So actually, Watson, see, he had an assistant named Watson, and Bell was messing around with chemicals or something like that, and he spilled a chemical. And his first message to his assistant was, Watson, come here, I need you, or something like that.
Wow. Oh, that's so specific. Wow. Okay. So then we have this, and yes, don't forget to comment, of course, if you have any other comments、ライブ配信中にコメントをくれた方の中から、抽選で、3名様に、配信に参加している、講師のレッスンが無料で体験できるチケットをプレゼントします。ぜひコメントをお送りください。では、I think we can move on to the next presentation. So, sorry, I lost my notes. Oh, can we hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was confused. Uh, oh, okay. Oh, so sorry. First message was Watson, come here. I need you. Okay. Oh, sorry. I was a bit confused for a second. So I'll let you move on to your topic now.
Okay. All right. So, hello, everyone. Today, I would like to tell you a little bit about a place called Cahokia Mounds. Now, in what is today the US, there are many places where you can see things that have been left behind by people who came before. All of these people collectively would be referred to as Native Americans. So Cahokia Mounds is a Native American site. In particular, it is the remains of an ancient city built over 400 years. And Cahokia Mounds is a place where historians and researchers and archaeologists they can come and learn more about the Native Americans who built Cahokia Mounds. In this case, those Native Americans are called the Mississippian culture. For us, people who maybe aren't historians or archaeologists, it is a place that we can go and experience a precious piece of ancient history, especially in the US, because the United States is a very young country, and it doesn't really have a lot of sites in it that were built by Europeans that are very old. Most of the places that you can find in the US that are listed as historic places are really not very old, maybe 200-300 years old. Whereas Cahokia Mounds, it's almost 800 years old, maybe more. This is an idea of what the city might have looked like back when it was first built and back when it was still inhabited. And the people who inhabited it, they were called, well, we call them today the Mississippians. The Mississippians were really the greatest and also the last of the Native American civilizations in what is today the United States. They were a people that were not all one culture. As you can see in the map, there was many different places and many different varieties of Mississippian culture. And all of these cultures did have one thing in common. And that was that they were all close to either the Mississippi River or a river that flows into it, which is where we get the name Mississippian. And they were the most complex and the most advanced culture in the eastern US. But for reasons that historians still are not really sure, they disappeared almost all at once. When we go to Cahokia Mounds, we can see what they left behind. For example, Monk's Mound. Monk's Mound is the largest human-made earth structure in North America outside of Mexico. In Japan, for example, you might find kohun, the burial mounds. Monk's Mound is not a burial mound, but it is similar. It was built to give a nice high place for the chief or the leader of the Cahokia city to build their residence on, to build their home, so that everyone in the town could see where they lived. Today, that structure is not around anymore, but the mound itself is still larger at the bottom than the great Egyptian pyramid at Giza. And it's easily the most visible part of Cahokia that's left. When you get close to Cahokia, the first thing you will see is Monk's Mound. This is what you might see from the top of Monk's Mound. If you look in the distance, you can see several more burial mounds. Some of these are actual burial mounds. They have tombs inside them. Some of them are, like Monk's Mound, just mounds that maybe would have had buildings built on top of them. And others are a mix of the two. Another thing that you might see is called the Woodhenge. Now maybe you know Stonehenge, the place in England where they have all the stones propped up in a circle. It's a very famous landmark. Well, in Cahokia we have the Woodhenge. So there's no stone, but there is wood. And it performs a similar function. It's a circular structure made from wooden poles. And it's built to line up with certain events during the year. For example, on the summer solstice in June, the first day of summer, the sun will look like it's rising from behind Monk's Mound if you're standing at Woodhenge. And in the winter solstice, on the first day of winter, it will look like it's rising from a different mound, Fox Mound. This was very important to the people who built Woodhenge. It was considered a part of their religion, a part of their culture. And so it fulfilled a very important role in their society. This is what you might have seen if you were standing at Woodhenge when it was first built. In the background, you can see Monk's Mound and the sun rising over it. And then the other mound that I mentioned, mound, is also called Mound 60. Many mounds in Cahokia are named by numbers because there are over 100 mounds. Not all of them have special names. But Fox Mound is one of the largest mounds in the area, and it's paired with another which is just called Mound 59. So no special name for it. But Fox Mound is a rectangular mound, much like Monk's Mound, whereas Mound 59 is cone-shaped, like a mountain, kind of like Mount Fuji, but small and made of dirt. And it's believed that Mound 59 was probably a religious building, or a place where a religious building was built. And later on, people built tombs into it. So it's one of the mounds that is both temple and burial mound. And then lastly, if you go to Cahokia, you can see all of these things and much, much more displayed in the Interpretive Center, which is basically the museum on site. It displays many of the artifacts that were found at Cahokia as well as places nearby. This includes things like reconstructions and dioramas of burials, such as you can see at the bottom of the screen here. Stone and copper figures, sculptures made out of various kinds of metals and stone, and much, much more. Cahokia really was the center of the Mississippian world, but it was not the only settlement, and not even the only large settlement. It was one of many. And so there are many other impressive artifacts and sites that you can find all over the eastern United States. So I hope you learned a little bit about Cahokia, and if you ever get the chance to visit, you should. It's very interesting. So thank you very much.
This presentation. So we have few comments. So that is interesting. We have Misa that said, I just learned that there are Native American archaeological sites. And then after said, it's like Japanese kofun. And then we have Maki that said pretty much the opposite, who said, 日本の古墳とまたちょっと違うんですね。So I think we have a small debate here. It's a little different from the Japanese tombs. I guess it depends. I am not sure. Do you have maybe like an insight to add on this?
Sure. So in Japan, most of the kofun mounds were built as tombs, as burial places. Whereas in Cahokia, originally, most of the mounds there were not burials. They were mostly made so that something else could be put on top, so that it would be very visible from everywhere else. But later, when the city was around for a while, many of them were reused and became burial sites. So it's kind of both true.
I see. I see. I was also, there's like quite a few questions that came at the same time. So Marina says, so interesting. Was the name Monk's Mound given by the native people or was it given by
Ah,
Europeans? Oh, that's a good question.
yes, that is a good question, and it's an interesting story. Of course, I won't go into it too deep, but the reason it is called Monk's Mound is because back when Europeans first came to the area that is now Cahokia, when they found Monk's Mound, the people who found it decided that it was a great place to build a monastery, to build a place where monks would live. And so a religious group called the Trappists built a monastery there. And that is where we get the name Monk's Mound.
That's interesting. Okay, I didn't think we would get the answer to that one, but that's even better. I didn't think about this, but that sounds quite logical. Yuming says, is the reason why they build it, I guess they build it higher. I guess that's what, because I think there's a word missing. Is the reason why they build it to help their leaders avoid flood? Like, I guess to build them higher?
That's an interesting point. So Cahokia is very close to not just the Mississippi, but other rivers that come off it. And the Mississippi is very famous for flooding a lot. And so it's very possible that not just for, religious or ceremonial reasons, but also because they wanted to raise the important places away from floods. But it's important to know, in Cahokia, not all the buildings are built on mounds. It's the very important buildings only. All the other buildings, like the homes where normal people live, they're all just on the ground. So if that did happen and a flood came through, only the leaders would probably be safe. But maybe that was what they intended. I
Oh,
don't
wow.
know either way, but it's an interesting idea.
Mhm. Oh, wow. I also see Black Lemonade says, are there any other Native American tribe or culture similar to the Mississippian culture?
Ah, okay. So they didn't really, poof, vanish. Many of their people that survived whatever happened to them went other places and became smaller new tribes. A lot of these tribes, they weren't. It's difficult to say if they were similar, but they came from the same traditions. When they arrived in the 1500s, when the Spanish first landed, they found that almost everywhere the Mississippian cities, the big towns, had been abandoned. But they did find one place by a tribe called the Natchez tribe that was actually still inhabited and still around. So there were similar tribes, some of them more similar than others, and none of them as big. But there are still tribes that are descended from the Mississippian culture.
I
So,
see.
Evan, I have a question for you.
Yes.
It was kind of related to that question. You mentioned that they disappeared. So, where do the archaeologists think that they disappeared to? I mean, for example,
Ah.
were they kidnapped by aliens or were they wiped out by smallpox? Do they have any
Mm.
ideas?
So There are a few ideas. There were two ideas right now, in the modern day, two ideas that sort of compete. The first idea is that something happened that started either a war inside the Mississippian culture, like a civil war, or a war came from outside, and that through war, the Mississippians collapsed. The other idea, and the idea that has more evidence for it, and so is the favorite idea, is that the Mississippian population grew so quickly, had so many people, that their farms, the farming techniques that they used, couldn't keep up. And so when a particularly bad crop season happened, a bad harvest, people starved to death in a famine, and that famine collapsed the Mississippians. And that's the theory that most people, most historians will say that they believe. But no one is 100% sure.
Oh, wow, this is definitely not. I would have never thought of the famine, but yes, that does make a lot of sense. We also have the comment of RM that says, so interesting to note that there are a lot of Native American sites. Do you know what the word Cahokia means?
Oh, so I don't actually know exactly what it means, but I do know that it was named by French people. The
Oh, wow.
French people came up with the name. Um, I believe that the person who came up with the name was named Jacques de la Salle.
Oh,
So
wow.
if you ever feel like looking up de la Salle, he was a French explorer in that whole region. I believe he named it, but I am not completely sure.
Oh, wow, that's a an interesting question. Well, as a French myself, have I do not know what that word could mean, but I will definitely search into it because now I'm curious. Great, thank you
Yes.
everyone for your questions. Notion also says hi, hi. Thank you everyone for watching, and thank you everyone for participating in the comments. Of course, continue commenting because, as mentioned, um, we also have lesson tickets that will be offered as presents for students during the live streams who are commenting. So feel free to also send us questions. And now we'll move on to the last presentation of today. So Linny will tell us and introduce us to Table Mountains in South Africa. So Linny, you have you can start.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm just going to show you about Table Mountain. So, Table Mountain. Oh gosh. Table Mountain is a stunning geological formation overlooking the city of Cape Town, South Africa. It's a flat-topped summit standing of approximately 1,085 meters or 3,585 feet above sea level, creating an iconic backdrop to the cityscape. Here are some key points about Table Mountain. Geologically, the mountain is primarily composed of sandstone and rises abruptly from the coast plain, creating an impressive natural landmark. It is part of the Table Mountain National Park, which encompasses a significant portion of Cape Peninsula. The formation, the, oh, sorry, okay. The Table Mountain is one of Cape Town's most popular tourist attractions, drawing millions of visitors each year. The summit can be reached by hiking trails via a cable car which offers a breathtaking view of the city and the surrounding coastlines. Table Mountain in Cape Town, South Africa, offers many great hiking trails, each with its own unique views and challenges. Some popular trails including Pigeon Cliff Gorge, Indian Vistas, and Skeleton Gorge. This best trail are for you depending on your hiking experience, fitness level, and preferences in terms of views and terrain. It is recommended to you to do your research and trail to find the one of the suits you best. Well, this is a little bit how I want to show you the pictures of it. And this is the trail hikes. There's the mountains, and we have lots of fauna as well. And that will be it. Thank you very much.
You very much. So the last pictures were really pretty. Is it like um is it accessible to the public? Can we go on hikes there?
Yes, it is. Yes, you can. Yes, it is. It's quite accessible. You just have to pay for a few fees, and then you can go on the mountain. It's quite easy to get on by cable cars as well. And we have
Oh,
there's a fun fact actually. We have a national mascot called the dassie. That's an Afrikaans word, the dassie. But actually, it's also known as a guinea pig. It's a very small little animal.
that's
It's a very
interesting.
cute little animal.
That's it.
And it's called a dassie.
That's cool. That sounds cute as a mascot. Have you ever tried
Yes.
the hike there?
To be honest, I've been living in South Africa for all my life, but I've never been on the mountain at all. Too scared.
This sounds like so like the real experience. Like you live there, it is very close. You see it so much, but it's
To
like never getting.
everybody loves it. The tourist
Yes.
loves it, but I'm too scared to climb.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, too scared to climb.
I see. So, oh,
Mm.
we have few questions. Let's see. Oh, I just missed one. Um, Yuming said earlier that that is our previous topic. To me, Cahokia sounds similar to Hawaiian words. That could. Cahokia does sound quite like it could be like
It
Hawaiian
does.
words, I guess.
It does kind of sound a bit Polynesian, I
Hmm.
guess.
So yes, we have a bit of delay on the question, so I'll also read the comments. RM said, "I was curious because, for example, Seattle. I'm very bad at pronunciating the city. I'm sorry. Seattle is the name of a
Yep.
Native American's chief. Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yes.
Oh wow, I didn't know there was like probably like more cities in the United States that were named
Oh,
after
yes.
Native American like
Several.
tribes or chiefs. I oh okay.
The state I am from in the U.S., Illinois, is named after a Native American tribe, the Illini. So I
Oh
am very familiar with Native American place names in the U.S.
oh wow, that's interesting. And do you also, that's just my personal question. Do you get like uh taught those like in school?
Some of them we do. Um,
Hmm.
Usually we will get taught just a few, and then if you want to learn more, usually that's special college courses that go into more Native American history.
Oh, okay, I see. Um Astrid, thank you for the tip. Thank you for the presentation. Misa says, is it a mountain or is it a single rock? I think we were on the.
It's a
Mhm.
it's a mountain. It's a mountain. Yes.
Yes. Mhm.
Yes, a
And
flat
then,
top mountain.
yes, that's an interesting looking mountain. Um,
Yes.
so Astrid also asked, like, have you been there yourself? So I guess you didn't like top it. So.
No,
Um,
no, no. Too scared.
Aram asks, do many people in South Africa go there? Like, is it only popular, I guess, yes, among like tourists, or do you
No,
also like,
The locals love to go there because of they want the fauna, they see the dassies, and they want to see like these little snakes that they like watching because they are so tiny and so cute actually, but we must actually stay away from they're actually poisonous as well. But they like
Oh,
watching
wow.
them and climbing, yes.
Oh, wow. And then we also have Miku that says, I have been to top of the Table Mountain using cableway. Wow, it was a wonderful experience ever had. Whoa,
Mm.
that's
The
that.
cable cars, yes, definitely. I heard
I
it's for
feel.
once
Oh, sorry.
no,
Please go
one
on.
just to say once you're in the cable car and the wind blows, it does this. So that's why I'm so scared of it.
I think that sounds much more scarier. Like that sounds so. Yeah, I now I get it. At first, I was kind of like, oh no, that sounds nice, but no, that sounds
No,
actually
no,
scarier this way.
scary, yes.
Um,
But it's quite
and
beautiful if you reach the top.
Wow, that's interesting. The pictures were very pretty. Notion says, I've ever
Mm.
seen tablecloth mountain with clouds. Oh, with
Yeah, yes,
oh
there is quite a few. That's why, hence the reason why they call it with there's a cloth over because of the clouds covering the Table Mountain.
okay. I didn't
Mm.
I could not picture it. I'll probably have to look at some picture. Okay, like I could not imagine it at
Mm.
first. Okay, I see. Oh
Mm.
wow. Um. Oh, but wait. Do you also have like a question? Sorry, like Manning, I was about to ask
Yeah.
you.
So I was
Mhm.
curious, does it ever have snow on it?
No, actually, we don't get snow in our country, actually.
Ah, okay.
Oh wow.
Mm-mm,
Oh yes,
not
that's
really.
true. Oh yes, that's true. Ah, and Misa says it's a mysterious shape. Beautiful. Yes, that's quite interesting.
Yes,
That's
it
the
is.
first time I've seen this. Wow. Um, okay. So I'm also checking if we have other comments. I think it might be it for now. Do not forget to comment if you have any questions. Um, in the meantime, I'll also let tutors quickly introduce the lessons they offer on Cafetalk. So maybe let's just make a turn with the same in the same order we did the presentation. So Manning, can you go first?
Sure. I do general conversation. I also do test preparation for TOEIC, ACAN, TOEFL, IELTS, and I was an English teacher, a high school English teacher many years ago. So I also teach writing, English composition, but I have recently heavy focus on business because I was in business for like 30 years.
Okay. Great. So, of course, there's like all the links, by the way, just below of today's tutors and the lessons that they offer, so you can take a look. Ivan, can you tell us a bit about your lessons?
Sure. So, for the most part, my lessons are actually focused on American history. I do a lot of presentations and discussions on American history, starting all the way back from uh, before Europeans and all the way up to the Great Depression in the 1930s. Other than that, I also do some like native speaker proofreading, general converse practice, uh, and stuff like that. But as I am a
Oh,
history college degree, I have started to. Oh, sorry.
uh,
Am I audible
yes,
again?
yes. Please continue.
Okay. Excuse me. Um, I've recently started to put out some AP US history courses. So this is courses that are focused around the AP curriculum in the United States about U.S. history. So it would be very useful if you were, say, going to have an AP course. But yeah, that's mostly me.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, I've seen you have like, sorry, like quite a lot of lesson packs with like different parts of history. That's like that sounds like a lot of content. So I was also looking into this.
Yes.
And Linny, can you tell us a bit about your lessons and what you offer on Cafetalk?
Well, I'm a conversationalist. I offer role play, and that's something interesting. And I talk about whatever you feel like talking about, free talk. And then I'll help with children as well. Also, as role play, and basically, I speak a lot with my hands. So everybody is like interesting how you move with your body because language is something interesting, and you have to be all. So that's how my lessons is always about playful. It's always about playfulness, especially with kids.
Great. Oh yes, you have English for kids too. Okay,
Yes,
interesting.
that's correct. Yes.
Great. Yes, I also saw you have like a lesson with pets. Do you have pets
Yes,
yourself?
yes, yes, yes. Yes, I have a cat and a dog, and they
Oh,
love each other. Oh, they're beautiful together.
oh, that's interesting. Okay, because I also saw that you
Yes,
had like a power of pets, and I thought that was really cute.
yes. Mm.
Um, Great. So I think that um, I'm also reloading the pages. I think we didn't have more comments so far. So I'll just take a quick look. Feel free to, of course, send us if you have any questions about the topics of today or to the tutors directly. Feel free to comment. But I think that we should be okay for now. Mm, oh, maybe I've missed some comments. Oh, yes, I did miss one. Sorry. Um, so Notion says, thank you for your presentation. I am so sorry for missing Manning's. I noticed it late. Oh, that's unfortunate. So there's also the live stream that will be available afterwards. And on the comments page, you should also have on the right supplementary text. So you also have the tutor's presentation. If you want to check those with the pictures, feel free to take a look there. Akiko said, thank you for the nice presentations. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for all your wonderful presentation. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Lisa says it was educational. Great. We all learned a lot more today. So, yes, feel free to also check afterwards the live stream available, the recording. And yes, I think that that will be it for today. Thank you to all you three for participating. That was really nice presentations. I had a great time listening to you. And thank you everyone for watching and for all your questions too. We'll see you very soon on the website, and hopefully you also get to meet with our tutors again. Thank you very
Haifa,
much.
thank you for hosting.
Oh,
Merci
thank you.
beaucoup.
Thank you.
Merci. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
ありがとうございます。